Hello everyone, today we're doing a much different video. I have a very interesting story to tell you about the story of Frankenstein. I'm kidding, it's the name of a boat. So this is my friend Chris here.
Hello.
And he has his own channel named Wiley's Reptiles. I suggest you check it out. It's pretty cool if you're interested in snakes and stuff like that. He actually sells them too. So if you're interested in buying any of his products, I'll leave a link in the description below. Anyway, Chris, why don't you start by telling the story of how you wanted a boat and your free previous boats that you bought that you couldn't get to work?
Well, I had this first boat and had no titles, nothing. The transom was horrible, and there was no floor or pretty much anything really. And I was like, you know what, I'm gonna make this. I had a big dream about this boat, and then the dream failed after I started working on it a little bit. And I was like, okay, first boat gone. So then the second boat I get was off Facebook Marketplace. It was a 24-foot ocean boat. That one did really good. I fixed that whole thing up, got it going, but I was starting to still learn how to work on stuff. And of course it was the middle of winter. I was bored. I had nothing to do. So I was working on the boat and accidentally blown a gasket or something trying to get it started. And yeah, that wasn't good, and I was really mad because I put a lot of time and money into that boat. So sold that boat off too. And this next boat, I was just driving around, I look over and see the guy had two boats in his yard. I was like, man, I wouldn't mind getting another boat. So what I did was I went on Facebook just looking. I found one of those boats that he had on Facebook. So I messaged him up seeing if they had the other one, and they did. And it was definitely a project boat for sure. And
Well, I get this. So we were supposed to go pick up a different boat. I think it was like, I don't know, kind of Chesapeake Bay area.
Yeah.
We're in Virginia, by the way, just to give you context. But at night I get this text like, look at this thing, it's only $200. And I'm kind of, I'm like, okay. And then he starts telling me all this story about how the guy said the engine had been replaced, the wiring had been redone, and I guess I was tired and stuff because I didn't really think about what he was saying. But the next day, we got together, and before we decided to go get this other boat, because this one was closer, much closer, I'm looking at the pictures he sent me, and I'm like, hold on a second. This wiring looks absolutely original. And this is, your boat's like something from 1984, right?
Yeah, it's an 84.
What model is it exactly?
Cobia.
Cobia 1984.
18 foot.
Yeah, so I look at a couple of pictures and I'm thinking, you know, this doesn't look like it's been like replaced at all. In fact, I think it might be time to pull out some pictures. Okay, so what you see on screen right now, what we're looking at right now, is the first picture I believe I ever saw of the boat, which at night, and you can see the tire right there. The spare tire isn't just flat. I mean, it's like beyond flat. It was, I don't know. Yeah.
It's just destroyed.
Yeah. There's another angle there. This is picture number 2, and as you can see, the fiberglass is in pretty good condition, but it's kind of dark, so you can't really see all the details of the boat. But you're gonna get some better details in a minute. All right. Here's the picture of the engine here. And this is what really started getting my gears turning when I looked at it the next day. I was just kind of, you know, like how in the world was this all replaced? Because you can see there's like mud on the wire, and well, the thing's kind of covered in mud. And I know how Chris feels now, because this is his opportunity to get a boat. He's excited. And like, there's a big part of him that wants to believe everything this guy is saying. Mm-hmm. It's nighttime, so you're not thinking as clearly. So after I saw this picture, I started talking to him, and I started pointing things out, and I'm like, look at this rust here, look at this, look at these wires, they don't look new to me. And I'm kind of thinking like I'm just like, man, I don't want you to get like completely cheated out here.
Oh yeah.
But we decide to go pick it up anyway, and so we get to the guy's place, and I wanted to get the real story out of him, so I asked him the questions about the boat, and he gave me the same story that he gave to Chris. Although I could tell it was pretty obvious he was lying, but for what Chris was getting for $200, I figured it just wasn't that bad. So we kind of pulled aside, and I asked him what he thought. He said, you're right, I think he's lying. And I'm like, yeah, but $200 isn't worth putting up a fight for, and it's a decent deal. So we decided to get the boat, but the thing, man, the first thing we had to do is we had to replace the tires on the trailer, if you remember. Those were a pain.
Yeah, that morning I had to run to a different county in Virginia to get 2 different tires that were already used, but they were a lot better than the ones that were on it. And so we went to class and we went to go pick up the boat, and right after we picked up the boat, the guy left. He wasn't even there, so we were there in his yard changing the tires on the boat.
Yeah, but before he left, tell him how he hooked up the ball hitch.
Oh, so the ball hitch, he goes, oh, it gets stuck a little bit. He put that thing on, and then he takes a hammer and starts beating it on my truck ball hitch, and the thing just got stuck on there. So when we got back to the house, we couldn't take it off.
Yeah, we had to pull that whole ball hitch apart, and we didn't have a crowbar on us, so we took it back of a hammer, you know, the part that like is to pry up nails. And after we took the ball hitch completely apart, we had to pry the ball out of there, which was not easy.
Mm-mm.
And first thing we did when we got back though, before the ball hitch incident, is we had to pull a bunch of garbage out of there. I think you even found like a used diaper in there and stuff.
Oh yeah, you found everything in there. Mountains of trash, the whole. Like the motor mount was rotten, something the floor was rotting, had to cut everything out and get all, I mean, it was just horrible. I filled up a truck bed, as you see in the picture.
Yeah, what you see now is, this isn't even all the garbage you pulled out there. This is just
half.
Yeah, this is maybe half. It was, you could find literally anything in there. It was just caked in random garbage, cardboard, you name it, it was in there. And there's just random used fishing gear. Some of it was salvageable, like there was like a life vest and stuff like that, and
yeah, there was not much really. I still had the fire extinguisher still in the green, so
yeah, but I don't know, maybe the sun killed it, who knows.
Yeah.
Oh, and now you can see this is what the boat looks like after we cleaned it out somewhat, and as you can see the wood that's supposed to be covering up the gas tank was completely rotten, so you had to actually walk on the gas tank. The gas tank was thankfully made of metal, so no caving in on us or anything like that, but
yeah,
that was fun.
that was a very interesting experience. I took my time with it.
Yeah, but that night you were kind of frustrated, like after day one of just cleaning it out and stuff. You were like, I'm just gonna go turn around and sell this for $300, and you were just angry, and you were kind of like, I don't know. I think you were weren't you like kind of questioning like, why did I buy this thing in the first place?
Yeah, I did do that. I was like, well,
you flat out told your girlfriend the boat is a bust.
I mean,
and I'm like, okay, maybe I'll just help you clean it out and sell it. I mean, it's an adventure or whatever it is.
What was an adventure?
Night rolls around, I get a text, and I see a picture of him holding a new ball hitch mechanism to replace the one that was busted. I don't know if it was broken from the start or if the guy just broke it from pounding it on there. He said, dude, let's work on the trailer tomorrow. And I'm like, okay, we can do that. Oh, here's another picture of the inside of the boat here. You can see the engine back there. Yeah.
Just re-looking at all these pictures just shows me like, wow, we did a lot of work to this boat. Like, it's impressive. Right here, we cleaned it up a little bit. This is before I pressure washed it. After I cleaned everything up, it looks a lot better. It still needs a little bit of a pressure wash.
You can see his truck here. I think this picture number 8. Yeah, yeah, the fiberglass and stuff, and some of the wood is okay, in decent shape.
Yeah.
I think we still have to put carpet in there or something, but...
Yeah, I can do that at some point, but...
Oh, and here's a picture of the new ball hitch. Yeah, so he cut off the old one and he bolted this new one on, which works way better. I mean, you can get that thing on and off pretty easily. There's...
Oh, yeah. It was the last one was welded on there, so I had to get a Sawzall with a metal bit, of course, and just cut that whole thing off. Then I had to go in there, put a new one on, drill holes, and put new bolts through it. And that was a little time consuming, but it was definitely a lot better than the other ball hitch that was even on it. And also the trailer hitch stayed it was just really long anyway, so I had plenty of room to work on it and keep it going. So
yeah, we also let's see, we had to replace the tail lights on the trailer because the wiring on the tail lights were completely gone. It was just there were like places where it had been snipped. I kind of looked inside one of the tail lights and it looked like burnout bulbs, but I just didn't want to mess with it. I don't even think we tried plugging it in like when we drove it back for the first time because I was kind of like, I think this is probably just safer unplugged.
yeah, because the guy goes, here, I'll plug it in. I was like, it ain't gonna work. It didn't work anyways, but
yeah, like so we got like a $40 kit from like Harbor Freight and replaced that, and
15 minutes.
15 minutes it was replaced. After that, so he's mostly doing the woodwork. I kind of after I wired up the tail lights, I decided to take a look at the engine, and the engine would make these sputtering sounds where it would do this thing where like you turn it over, and we had to jump start it to your mother's van, right?
Yeah, we did. We had to jump start the mom's van because we didn't have a battery yet. The battery the guy gave us was not good.
No, not good at all. It was you try charging it, and there was you got a very consistent 0 volts.
Yep, 0 volts. That's all we get.
So he charged. So we have to jump start it to his mother's van, and it'll crank, and then it makes these sputtering cough sounds. And didn't you say like the guy had like mixed in like had put some fresh gas in the tank?
Yeah, so when I was there that night, he was pouring, I don't know, fresh gas out of a water bottle into the carburetor, and it would be like, and then it'll like stop doing it because it's just cranking over because the old gas is not allowing it to fire. But as he poured the new gas in, it would want to, but it wasn't quite enough there yet.
Yeah, so there's this weird mixture of good gas and bad gas in there, and that was kind of preventing it from running. And so it would like start and make this sputtering sounds, like 1 or 2, maybe 2 cylinders would fire, and then it would just quit. Like it wasn't even enough like to get a full rotation from it. The sputtering, it fired a little bit, but not enough. And so I was just thinking, maybe this thing's just full of bad gas, because I had taken out one of the spark plugs earlier and kind of looked at it, and it looked pretty normal. I didn't see like any oil foul or anything like that, or heavy carbonation. That is something you see in like an engine that's been really abused. And so I take the top off of the carburetor. I take the air filter off the carburetor. And I put a bunch of carb cleaner there. I drain the fuel line, and then I put it in I put it in kind of a lawnmower gas tank. Because the gas tank was just full of bad gas. I think it's like half a tank in there or something like that. Yeah. Just there, I don't know, just bad fuel, and eventually it starts making more sputtering sounds, and then eventually, you can see my hack here that I have to get it running. You can see the gas hooked up to the lawnmower gas tank instead of the actual gas tank up there. And eventually, yeah, that was like the second or third time we got it running, and this was the moment where Miss Frankenstein got her name.
Yes.
Because I started jumping around and yelling, "It's alive! It's alive!" And after that, we talked about that moment. And we were like, maybe we should just name it Frankenstein.
I think I was on the carburetor trying to give it some gas and open up the valve a little bit, and then eventually it took off. I was like, yes, 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 and he goes, it's alive. So,
yeah, that was the moment. And his mom was out on the front porch. I'll never forget her face. She's kind of like, wait, they actually got it running?
well,
yeah.
The way the boat looked at first, I mean.
Yeah, that's true. If you don't know a whole lot about engines, I would understand. But yeah, this video is like the second or third time we got it running. And it wasn't running very good. It would run for a couple minutes and then quit. And maybe that was because, maybe that's just because the fuel pump wasn't supposed to work at it with a hose at that angle exactly.
Could have been that.
Yeah, that's kind of my thought with it. But it would run consistently better. Oh, and here you can see the new engine cover he built, which he did a pretty good job for DIY.
Yeah, for just a quick kind of job with it. It's a lot better than what was on it, though.
Yeah, so eventually you can recarpet that, and it'll look really, really good.
Yeah, I'm gonna put some polyester resin and fiberglass over it, so it keeps it from rotting. But
Yeah.
that'll be a project for later.
Yeah, it's something eventually. Here you get a better view of it, and you have these two boxes on the side. As you can see, where you have the seats would lift up, and you could go under them. Now, you had to replace those, right?
Yes, I had to remake those. And
Okay, next picture. This picture here, you can see where he's kind of sized up, like doing like a little test fit before he screws it down of the floor here that he's replacing.
so now we're able to walk everywhere, and all the other spots where there's carpet, all that's fine. It was just the middle part. There was a middle compartment sleeve that flips up. That was rotting out. And then, of course, about the gas tank where there was a little bit of a gap was also rotting out as well.
Previous owner dude had just let it sit in the rain for years, just threw garbage in it. This boat just really been like it's been sitting for at least 15 years or something like that.
It had to have sat for a while for it to be this bad.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, or he just filled it with water.
Normally, normal people, when they look at a boat like this, they won't even consider getting it, but we're not normal. That's why
We appreciate old things. The 1984 boat, what's the model again?
Cobia.
Cobia, 1984 Cobia, 18 foot.
18 foot. My last boat was a 1972. I forget the name of Seabird. That was not wood. That was more of like a hard plastic type of. What was the name of that plastic?
PVC.
PVC plastic board. That was a lot better. It was a lot better. I mean, it's an ocean boat, so
Yeah.
that's why it was.
One day we'll work on a project like that, maybe. But oh, and here you can see those two boxes he built to replace those.
Yeah, that took about, I don't know, it was like on the back porch at like 1 o'clock in the morning building that. Everyone's upstairs sleeping. I'm just taking a saw. I was like, don't look at
You're on that 1 o'clock in the morning. Wow.
Yeah, I was making all this at like 1 o'clock in the morning.
Okay. You must have like ninja skills when it comes to like building stuff, because at my house never can hear me when I'm up. I just have no stealth whatsoever when I'm walking around.
Well, I had the big saws and stuff too. I was making noises. I was like, well, whatever.
So you just must have a family of very heavy sleepers.
Yep. So in this picture, you can see on the right side box, I don't quite have a top for that yet. I ran out of wood. But on the one on the left, that's why I have wood that flips up too. And everything fits perfectly to where it needs to be. I cut everything perfectly. I took the same measurements off the rotten stuff.
Unfortunately, you couldn't save those cushions up there because they were just they kind of just tore.
Yeah, they were tore, rotten.
Yeah.
Disgusting.
Yeah, you can kind of see them off to the right there.
Yeah.
In the picture, like behind the boat, you can see part of that. Yeah, there's not much to save. Oh, and here, this photo you had, let's see, you had taken out those two seats.
I took out the two seats that joined together. There was stuff in there, like flare gun, which I kept. But I took all those seats out, makes a lot more room. The boat was very small. So when I got it on the water, it's nice to have a little bit of walking room.
Yeah, I don't blame you for that. Eventually, he got a seat recently from someone else, and he's going to try to put
Yeah.
there. A project for later, though. The boat's a work in progress. It just needs time. Mechanically, everything's good right now. Oh, here. So this is when you got the earmuffs. This little clip here you sent me of it running a lot better. This was after we actually put like a battery in there, a real battery. Because as mentioned before, previous one was garbage. Jump starting to him over his van and all. So we had, but it started running a lot better then. Eventually, though, we figured out that the alternator wasn't working.
Yeah, so the alternator was not charging the battery, and
yeah, so we ended up replacing that. And after that, it did charge.
yep, it did charge, and it was sitting at a comfy 13 volts.
Oh. All right. We are here christening the Frankenstein boat
to be the #1 boat.
First boat, Frankenstein, and we hereby name you. Look at that. That's beautiful. That's perfect. Okay, we're doing the SS Frankenstein. The SS Frankenstein. There we go. Now it's named. Now it's named. I would clap, but I have a camera in my hand. Just a victory shout. Woo, yeah! We are here, legendary moment here. Yeah, so we bought these like little mailbox letters, and as you can see,
You named it the Frankenstein.
yeah, oh, and you can see the old alternator on top of the wood there that we had. Yeah, that's, okay, next video here. And, he wanted to put SS on there. Yeah.
Steamship is what it stands for. It's not a steamship.
Yeah, I didn't know that actually. Huh. But, well, actually they say like USS for everything these days, so, that was when it was named the Frankenstein. I think that was shortly after we replaced the bellows on the thing, because the bellows on there
were horrible. So what we had to do for the bellows, we had to take off the outdrive motor, get under there, cut all the old bellows out because they were all ripped, torn to pieces, and we had to do all that. We had to run the throttle cable through the boat, take it off the boat motor, run the throttle cable off, put on a new bellow for it, and then we had to put on the exhaust bellow, which came off afterwards, and I had to like look up a video on how to put it on. I had to put zip ties on it, tie it up to the thing, tighten them all up so that way it holds it itself. And yeah, the bellows are not fun to replace. We did it. It was about, how long do you think? 5-6 hours?
Yeah, something like 4 hours.
Yeah.
It would have gone a lot quicker if we had known what we were doing. This is the first time we did something like this, so yeah.
Ordered a little kit offline, had everything I needed, all the gaskets and everything. Also we had to replace the gimbal bearing. I had to get a special tool at the parts store, get a slide hammer and hit the thing out. That took no time at all, so if you ever have to do that project, go get a slide hammer and
re-greased it. After that, it was looking pretty good.
Oh yeah.
Okay, there's a good photo of the SS Frankenstein name on there. Yep. Kind of, you can see a little. Oh, and I think that was like the first time you changed the oil as well.
Oh yes, we did change the oil that day too, and
yeah, I think we also had to replace the antifreeze, container, because everyone had just, you know.
yeah, usually I never heard of antifreeze on a boat, but apparently it says do a mixture, so that was there for some reason.
I think it's something like to prevent it from freezing inside. This is a inboard motor, so what it does, in case you don't know, it pumps water from like whatever surrounding body in, and then pumps it out to keep itself cold. And I guess if there's water left over during the winter, the antifreeze is supposed to act as kind of a somewhat a stabilizer to keep it from blowing a gasket or cracking the block.
And I had no idea what that was. I broke it, and I thought it was, I didn't know what it was.
The guy told me it was power steering fluid.
I was like, I don't think it's
But it
power
hooked
steering.
directly up to the, kind of what is a radiator cap. This boat doesn't have a radiator, obviously, but kind of what a cap is. And it hooked directly up to that. Like, there is no way you're going to be able to tell me that this is power steering fluid.
Yeah, that was very interesting, but we figured it out. We got it fixed. It was like a $20 fix, but the whole thing, the plastic was just dry rotted. I accidentally touched it with my toe, and it just broke. I was like, okay.
It kind of caved in. There's a picture you sent me of one of the bellows you replaced, kind of like.
Yes, so I don't know if you see, there's a rubber gasket for the exhaust. It's right here at the other side of this cooling sense thing, and then there's an exhaust thing there, so I had to go in there and replace that. So I had to take off this big long under shaft to be able to take off that bellow, and I just took off the bellow, put a new one on, because as we were running at first, we didn't have water going through the system, so we pretty much cooked it, and I could see steam coming out of pores in the thing. I was like, okay, I'm replacing that, and it's like $20, and that was no problem. Fixed that, but it really wasn't that bad.
Oh.
So I did talk to the original owner of the boat. I was able to find him online, and he sent me photos of what the boat originally looked like, and it looks pretty good.
Yeah, you can see here. One day maybe we can make it look better than this.
Oh yeah.
One day. Yeah, but here's the back of the boat. So this is what it's supposed to look like. This is a picture of the top you sent me, I think. Hang on, let's just skip that. Oh, the outside. Now you can see a lot better of the boat cleaned up with the top on.
It looks a lot better than what it did. The trailer does too.
Yeah. And you can see the spare tire and stuff. I don't think you had replaced the tires with new ones quite yet, because I can see like rust and stuff on there.
Yeah, so I had to order new tires and stuff. There's new tires on it. The thing looks fabulous now.
Yeah. Oh, and here's a picture of the boat actually in the water from the original owner. This is not a picture of what Chris has done in the water with it, because obviously we don't have a dock around here. But and there's another picture of the rear
from the original owner too. So
yes. Picture of the side with some kid. I blurred out his face because I don't know who he is. My thumbnail. And that's the story of the Frankenstein boat. And actually now I'm gonna get to go in the water for the first time with it. He's been out. I wasn't able to make it that day, but
I've been out on it twice, and the boat ran fabulous. They'll have its flaws every now and then on the water, but it does good. It hits top speed about 45 miles an hour.
First thing I've ever been to restore. It's been such an amazing thing to do.
Oh yeah, you'll enjoy it. It flies. Hopefully it doesn't act up today, but it shouldn't.
And for the record, I got him the hat.
And you did get me the hat.
All right,
so we will make some video content today, and I guess we will add it to this video.
Right? All right, well, thanks for watching, everyone. Please enjoy the next few montage clips.
We're stranded. Just kidding.
We're fine. Working on the Frankenstein was one of the greatest privileges I've ever had. Big thank you for Chris for letting me share in this adventure. Also, be sure to check out Wiley's Reptiles. I'll leave a link in the description below. And as always, until next time, please remember that history belongs to God. It's His story. Adios, goodbye, or whatever language you speak.